Hi everyone, we are going to take a look at the Sun-Saturn conjunction happening tomorrow, February 4th. This is a conjunction that happens once a year. The Sun comes on Saturn in the wheel once a year. This year is happening in gate 13 and next year is going to happen in gate 30. Those two gates together form the codon of purification. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we're looking at the charts. Here we see the astrological chart for the conjunction. I like to use genetic matrix because then we can see both the signs in the outer rings and the hexagrams in the inner ring. So here you see the Sun and Saturn together in Aquarius in gate 13. And the Sun is illuminating the themes of Saturn. And Saturn astrology represents a fatherly figure. It's about bringing in rules, regulations, structures, obligations, and even discipline. And it is about building the foundation. It's about building for the future. It's not spontaneous. It's more severe in the way that it operates. So let's look at the Dinky chart. Dinky 13 is about discernment. There is nothing we can hide from Dinky 13. It sees and hears everything. When we have the Sun and Saturn here, they're asking us to look at everything that's on the table and see if there's discord, see what's working, what's not working. There is a kind of crossroads here. We have had one planet still retrograde, Mercury, and this very day, Mercury is stationing and then going direct. So all the planets is going to be direct for 2 months. So in this crossroads, we are discerning what's on the table before we move forward. We can see that there's another key, the 60, that is really just accentuating the importance of looking at the foundation, looking at the structure, looking at the kind of outline that we have right now, making sure that it's safe. Because the 60 is not here to limit us. Saturn is not here to limit us. It's just here to say, okay, for long-term growth, for stability, how are we going to do that? Do we have everything we need so that realistically we can move forward in a constructive way? That's what they are saying. The attraction has to do with relationships as well. And the fourth one here is saying, look at the people in your life, look at the friendships, look at the business partnerships. Is there enough trust? Fourth line. Is there enough heart? Is there enough shared truth between you? That's going to be important now that we're starting to move forward. Another thing that's important, what we can see here, the incarnation crossover activation sequence is always important for the theme of what this specific conjunction is for. And here we have the crossover sphinx, which is about direction. So you need to have a foundation. You need to see what works and what doesn't work. You need to have people in your life that resonate with you and that you can trust. And you also need to have a sense of direction of where you're going, because that's going to have you feel core stability or groundedness. And the second gene key is earth over earth in the I Ching. So this is very much a grounding gene key. It's feminine gene key. It's an intuition every moment that it knows where to go and where it's showing the way. We also see that in the vocation and the IQ here, we have two harmonic gates. The 28 and the 38 are the channel of struggle in the low frequency, but in the high frequency, they're fighting for a purpose. There's something important here when it comes to your fuel, your vocation, and the way that you think and value things, which is Venus and the IQ. It's important that whatever you choose to engage in those 2 coming months, that it has a purpose for you, that it's valuable, that it's worth it, I would say. And really the 6th line here, it's a higher purpose that we want to have in where we're going. We don't want to just be feeling, oh, there's energy forward, there's momentum, let's just do whatever. No, the 38 and the 28 is asking us for going back to you individual. This is individual circuitry saying, okay, what's purposeful for me? What's the fight that's worth fighting for me? What is it that is worth for me to put my energy? And if you're a generator, this is always how you're going to think. Okay, if I put my energy here, am I going to be generated or am I going to be drained? And if you're a non-energy type, it's even more important to realize that you don't have big amounts of energy and you want to be discerning, Dinky 13, where you put your energy. We also see that in this chart, we have the 58 twice, and this is about vitality. So it's going to be important, again, to see where do you put your energy and how do you care about your own energy? How are you regenerating yourself? We call this in the 64 door, the vital. This goes back to both your physical body, SQ is physical body, and then EQ is emotional body. How are you keeping yourself nurtured and vital in your body and in your emotions? And if we look at the two spheres here, the pearl and the culture, this is a lot to do with the outside. How are you interacting with others? What are we going to feel like in an everyday basis here in the coming months? Dinky 49 is about revolution. And the fifth line says that this revolution has to do with the whole of society. We see people right now in Canada, for example, standing up, coming together in communities, saying there is discord. We cannot be okay with the principles, the values that are being imposed on us. We want to decide for us where we're going, the direction of the Sphinx. We want to feel a purpose. We want to feel like we're fighting the right fight. And it's powerful. We can see with the third line in the pearl, there's going to be some trial and error. It might look a bit like distraction and reaction. We're not going to get it right away. But the important thing here is to wake up for our own direction and to have the discernment of what works and what doesn't work. So what it looks like is that with those two emotional gates, communities are going to wake up and say, we want to decide for ourselves. We are ready to make a revolution. We want equality. We want to be able to feel like we are empowered. The 37 is the Jesus gene key. And it has in it this consciousness of the feminine and the masculine being balanced. And that means both in ourselves and in society and in community. For me, also with the third line here is that it's not something that's happening from one day to another, but all these things that are happening with how we are moving on after this conjunction, when Saturn is asking us to have discernment, when we tap into our purpose, when we tap into our direction, our vitality, gradually, we are going to be able to have more of the integration of polarities within ourselves and the integration of polarities in communities and in the collective. And that's what this pearl is saying. This is the process that is not perfect. There's always going to be trial and error, but we are awakening to the wholeness of who we are. And there is something powerful with this chart that has both a lot of individuality in those individual gates and also looking at communities waking up together and looking at the collective where we're going. So a lot of things are boiling. It's going to be an emotional environment for the next few months. It's going to be some things that are cooking, but really it's important that each one of us look at what are the things that you want to keep? What is the foundation that you're standing on? How can you move forward even in the storm and feel that you are empowered in yourself and empowered with the people that you have chosen to have around you? And with the codon ring of purification, the 30 and the 13, with this Saturn conjunction this year and all the way to next year, when it comes to the personal, it is to purify the relationship patterns that keep us in codependency, that keep us in conflict, that keep us not being able to grow and evolve through relationships. So look at your relationships as the best teachers and remain awake and in awareness of what's going on. See if you can be the witness, because that's where we are working right now. It's going to be a powerful year in so many different levels. Thank you.